Well, we continue to follow the Michael Dunn retrial. Today is the second day of testimony.
Some of the most interesting testimony came from the three other teens who were in the SUV with Jordan Davis when Michael Dunn started shooting. Channel 4's Vic Micolucci is watching the trial closely, and he's going to have more on that testimony. We begin with Joy Purdy anchoring our Dunn coverage outside the courthouse. Joy, what's going on in court right now?
Well, Kent, Mary, I actually have a monitor that's right by where I'm seated, and we can watch the court proceedings. And right now I see a second evidence technician on the stand. He's been on there for a while. He testified during the first Michael Dunn murder trial, and his testimony was lengthy then. We expect it to be long now. Very tedious, very detailed information being given now about how he helped process the scene and gather evidence. Of course, the testimony today began shortly after 9 o'clock in the morning. The state's first witness, his name was Sean Atkins, a man who happens to now be in prison. You see him in the inmate outfit. He's in prison now for burglary and selling stolen property. He happened to be at the Gate gas station that night in 2012 and said he heard several gunshots and saw Michael Dunn crouching with a gun in his hand, but he also said he did not see anyone in the red SUV holding a gun.
Started hearing gunshots. I heard two of them before I looked over. It sounded like firecrackers going off. I thought someone was playing a joke. And then when I look over, the red Durango's backing out real fast, and I see a man shooting outside of a Volkswagen, like a grayish colored car.
Did you ever see any of the young men in the Durango with any type of weapon at that point?
Never.
Sean Atkins also testified that he saw Michael Dunn's tag number. He memorized it, later wrote it down, and he is being given credit for helping police track Michael Dunn down so quickly. Incidentally, Atkins said that even though he did testify for the prosecution today, he didn't receive any kind of kickback, any kind of favor to help himself in his own situation in exchange for this, his own situation not related to this trial at all. Also today, as Kent mentioned, we heard from all three of the young men who were inside the SUV at the time Jordan Davis was shot. Channel 4's Vic Micolucci joining us now live outside the courthouse, and Vic actually has been examining all of their testimony from today. Vic?
Joy, all three of these young men had very similar stories. They say, hey, we were just heading to the mall that night with our friends. We were having a good time, and Jordan Davis was in good spirits. We went inside that store. Jordan Davis and two other teens were outside in the car, and then they came out to see that there was a fight between Jordan Davis and Michael Dunn, but they were very clear that Jordan Davis never threatened Michael Dunn, and the only person with a gun that night was the defendant.
I seen his firearm come up into my view.
Prosecutors called Tevin Thompson, Leland Brunson, and Tommy Storns to the stand just like they did during the first trial. The teens said they were with Jordan Davis out on a Friday night to pick up girls when they stopped at the Gate gas station. They admit the music was blaring.
And what was the volume?
It was pretty loud, sir.
They claim it upset Michael Dunn, who was in the vehicle next to theirs. They told prosecutor John Guy that Jordan Davis cursed at the man, but the 17-year-old was definitely not armed.
Did you ever see Jordan Davis threaten to hurt or kill the driver of the other car?
No, I didn't see him threaten to hurt him.
Was Jordan Davis using his hands at all?
Yes.
Tell the jury how he was using his hands.
He was pointing his finger.
Did you ever see anything in Jordan Davis's hands when he was talking to the driver?
Yes.
What was that?
Cell phone.
Jordan Davis's friends said once Dunn started to shoot, they fled. Driver Tommy Storns backed up the SUV out of the spot and sped off into an adjacent parking lot. When they found Davis dying, they returned to the Gate gas station to get help.
Was Jordan Davis making any sounds?
Yes.
What was that?
He was gasping for air.
Was he moving in any way?
No, sir.
Dunn's defense team cross-examined each witness, questioning their stories and trying to raise reasonable doubt about their accounts, implying that a tripod in the back seat could have been construed as a gun.
And those are cylindrical, meaning they look like a pipe-shaped type legs, correct, sir?
I'm not sure.
And we know that back in February, when Michael Dunn was tried for the first time, that he was actually convicted of attempted murder in the shooting at all three of those men, as well as one count of shooting into an occupied vehicle. However, the jurors have not been told that. Right now, they only know that Michael Dunn is charged with first-degree murder. We saw the defense team really questioning these three young men, making sure that their stories do add up, and at times you could hear the defense team kind of implying that maybe they got together and spoke to make sure that all of their stories were similar. Reporting live outside the Duval County Courthouse, I'm Vic Michelucci, Channel 4, the local station.
Vic, thank you.